Hi, and welcome back to the Spark Study Club podcast, where we bring you relevant clinical information you need for success. I'm your host, Melissa Turner, and we have an exciting follow-up webinar coming up on October 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, this course is taught by Dr. Mark Donaldson, and it's titled A New Route to Rescue Intranasal Epinephrine versus Auto-Injectors. You will receive 1 CE credit for this, and you can go ahead and register at sparkstudyclub.com. So we wanted to take a couple minutes today to help you get to know Dr. Donaldson and give you a sneak peek of what he'll be discussing during the webinar. So Dr. Donaldson, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Melissa.
Mhm. And for those who don't yet know Dr. Donaldson, he is, and correct me if I'm wrong as we go through your bio here, because there's a lot to read. He is Associate Principal of Clinical Pharmacy for Vizient Advisory Solutions. He's Clinical Professor at the University of Montana, go Midwest. And he's a clinical associate professor at the Oregon Health and Science University, which is just down the street from me. So go West Coast. There we go. And he's also affiliate faculty in dentistry at UBC. So, Dr. Donaldson, again, thank you for being here. It's great to see you again.
You too. No, I think this is going to be another exciting presentation, and hopefully a number of your viewers will be able to tune in again.
Well, yeah, and like you said, it's not our first time together. You spoke for Sparks several months ago, and the turnout was great, and we had requests that you come back. So again, we bring you back. There we go. And I know I said this then, but I want to say it again too. Dentistry absolutely needs you. So I'm buttering you up here. This is great, right? Pharmacology, medicines. I mean, as dental clinicians, we do not have the time to prioritize these things as much as we should. And even with the pharma world continuously changing. So thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for being here in this community to help educate us.
Of course. Yeah, and like I said, I think this is going to be a really interesting topic because it is a little bit of a follow along. So if you joined me last time, we spoke about the minimal dental emergency kit and the drugs that need to be in it. And we sort of went through, what it is that you need to have and how, in fact, you have to use those particular medications. Because I know we all sort of sleep comfortably at night knowing that if we did have a medical emergency, we've got an emergency kit full of drugs and we'll be able to save that patient's life or at least support them until the EMTs arrive. What we learned last time, of course, is that not all of those drugs are simple, are plug and play, and in fact, some of them have unique challenges that if you're not familiar in the heat of battle, you could maybe stumble, and that wouldn't be good. The upcoming lecture, I think, is going to be important because, well, you may be alone, Melissa, in thinking that dental pharmacology is interesting, or maybe it's just you and I. But
With you and I.
but believe it or not, those auto injectors, so the EpiPens that we've historically stocked, might be going by the wayside. There is, in fact, a new formulation of epinephrine, which, of course, is the true life-saving drug in our emergency kit. It's the one medication where if somebody has a type 1 IgE-mediated anaphylactoid reaction, you really don't have time to call 911. You need to get that life-saving epinephrine into that patient as quickly as possible. Now, hopefully, with the chain of survival, somebody else is calling 911, you're getting your kit and you're giving the drug. But there have been a lot of struggles historically with the auto injectors, and so tuning in to find out what the future holds, I think is going to be exciting for everybody. And honestly, can't wait to tell everybody about it.
There we go. But what have been those struggles with the auto injectors?
Yeah, so all of the auto injectors, at least in this country, approved by the Food and Drug Administration, are for, the way the device looks. And what I mean by that is they all essentially have the same length needle. They all essentially have the same design, and they have the same way to sort of operate. The challenges have been multifold in that when you look at the design, it's not necessarily intuitive as to what end the needle comes out. In fact, the very first thing that you have to do is remove a cap. And when you remove the cap, you can actually see a hole there, and automatically you would assume, well, that cap must be plugging or blocking the needle. So I should probably put my thumb over the other end. And in fact, It's the opposite. The needle actually comes out of the end that you do not pull the cap off. So that has resulted in a number of accidental self-injections by these auto injectors, resulting in hospitalizations of a lot of allied healthcare professionals every single year. So poor design is one thing. The second, as I said, the FDA approved basically the needle length in all of these auto injectors, and in general, they tend to be 28 gauge half-inch needles. Unfortunately, with the obesity epidemic, which is closely tied to the type 2 diabetes epidemic in this country, we are a growing population in the wrong sense of the word. And so there have actually been auto injector failures because the needle length is too short to actually deliver life-saving epinephrine, usually into the fine capillary bed underneath the vastus lateralis in the thigh, in order to get blood levels of epinephrine up high enough and fast enough to save the patient's life. So needle length is too short. Design overall has led to accidental injury, and so there have been failures. And so, I'm excited to mention first off that the European folks are ahead of us. They have actually had an oral tablet of epinephrine. So instead of having to struggle with, a potential needle stick or not giving the right drug at the right dose to the right patient, they've actually solved this a number of years ago with an oral epinephrine tablet. Now we don't have that in this country, but we do have something which I think may be even better, and that's what we'll be focusing on during the lecture.
hmm And so tablet is an option when you're not in the States. Right now we have the pen, we have the nasal, which we'll get to in just a second. Is there any other delivery methods out there for epinephrine right now for these
Yeah, that,
patients?
that 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 really is it. Now, when you say the injection, as I mentioned, out of convenience, most people have been stocking the auto injector. It is possible to get either a vial or an ampule of epinephrine and then supply your own needle and syringe. And of course, you would be choosing the appropriate length needle, which is probably about, 1.3 centimeters at least. And so that sort of homemade kit is definitely a way that you could go. There are some companies out there that actually provide kits. So they will contain a needle, syringe, alcohol swab 2x2, and then either one or two ampules and or vials of epinephrine. So there are kits out there. There are some other unique auto injectors. Those have really not sort of taken off as much. But in the future, there's certainly some investigation into a wafer. So kind of about the size of a postage stamp. I don't know if you remember some of those breath mints that you can take, where you basically put this little film, this tablet, almost
Coolest thing
tongue.
ever.
Yeah, yeah, and it dissolves. So that's kind of where the science is going. Could we deliver epinephrine in maybe a sublingual formulation in one of these? But as you said, and kind of let the cat out of the bag, the new one that's out there is actually intranasal. And so that shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of our listeners out there. The intranasal route has become very popular, I would say. Last time I spoke, I may have mentioned the opioid epidemic. And of course, one of our solutions to that is making the reversal agent for opioids, also known as naloxone, more widely available to the general population in this country. And the way we've done that is through the advent of an intranasal sort of general public friendly formulation of naloxone, where if you do come across an unconscious John Doe, you can easily give this as a squirt up the nose instead of having to inject. So that same technology has now been extended over to a brand new product, and I'll do the great unveil right now. The product's name is Neffy. That's Neffy, Neffy. And so it is an intranasal form of epinephrine. Really, really exciting. And it's one of those few products. We don't have a lot of drugs in medicine that actually end up being a win-win and then finally a win. And what I mean by that is this new formulation of epinephrine has been shown to be safer than our auto injectors we've been talking about. It's been shown to be more efficacious, meaning that it gets blood levels of epinephrine up higher and faster than our traditional auto injectors. And then the final win is that it's coming in at a price point that is far below what we currently pay for auto injectors. So I think a lot of us in medicine have sort of felt beholden to the auto injector market, the EpiPens and likes. and we finally have an opportunity to break free and go with a product that is not only safer, not only better, but also less expensive. So yeah, it really exciting times for everybody.
That is exciting. How is the shelf life on that?
So the nice part is the shelf life is also a benefit, greater than 30 months. And it also has some unique properties in that they have evaluated it at extremes of temperature.
Mhm.
So, you know, you're out there on the West Coast, and I know you're close to Portland, but occasionally you get sunshine. So in the summer, if you were to leave this intranasal formulation in your car, and let's just say for fun, it got up above 120 degrees, the drug is still effective.
Mhm.
Similarly, if the formulation freezes, you can actually just thaw it out and it is still effective. So they've done those extremes of temperature studies, and so the shelf life is at least 30 months, and the product is not susceptible to temperature excursions, which is you know, just amazing.
That's a big deal. I mean, what I
Yeah,
like to think about is the path that it took to imagine this, to develop it, to test it. I mean, that's where my mind automatically goes. I'm like, I want to be
yeah.
there when all of that happens, right? And then you finally have a marketable product that now is really a no-brainer for all of us to use. I mean, I don't even know when the last time I touched an EpiPen was. I wish we could get hands-on with it when we do, as frequently as we do our CPR renewal and things like that. Let's just like poke something just to get it, that muscle memory
Exactly right.
in
Yeah.
in me. But now I would imagine that this has more, not just ease of use, but less hesitancy for the rescuer to use
Mhm.
it because it simply is just a pump, just a squeeze, right? Versus,
Exactly right.
oh,
And I should mention too that they've actually come out with two strengths. So initially, when this product was approved by the FDA, as most products, only for use in adults. So they now have two formulations. If a child over 4 but less than 30 pounds, you know, there is a lower dose formulation for that population, since you know many of our colleagues do treat kids. And then a larger dose for the rest of the population. So lots of good news and continuing evidence in support of its efficacy as well as safety. So yeah, I am excited about this for sure.
mhm. Is it in a typical nasal spray bottle or is there some kind of learning curve associated with
Yeah,
the
so
app?
it's a one-time use. I don't know if you've seen, certainly you or the listenership can go online to NEFFY, just Google that Neffy, and you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like. But very easy to open, and then you sort of just hold it between the three fingers, push with the thumb, and it atomizes the medication into the nose very quickly. Of course, that absorption through the nasal passages allows for the epinephrine to get to the heart very, very quickly. And then that's where you're seeing the improved efficacy with this versus the auto injectors that we talked about.
Mhm. So there really is no reason why we shouldn't be implementing this right away, right? So what's the first step? Go there, order it, get it in the kit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so I guess that comes down to, you know, how you are currently stocking your kit. So if you have a homemade kit, absolutely. I mean, once your auto injectors expire, rather than going out and paying, you know, maybe several $100s for a replacement every 18 months, you know, I would really look at the Neffy opportunity, longer shelf life, lower price, better safety, better efficacy. Yes, definitely replace it. Or, you know, there are companies out there that actually make kits, pre-made kits. I think a lot of those are very, very good. And I do know that there is at least one company right now that has already looked to replacing their auto injectors with the new intranasal epinephrine. So I would say that they're truly leading the curve in this aspect. Yeah.
Mhm. One final question. When did this nasal actually launch? Was it just recently or has it actually been in the US for a
Yeah,
while?
so really recently, I want to say it was October 2024, so less than a year ago when it received approval, and then marketing and sales for it just began in the last couple months. You know, I'm not really one that plays in the stock market, but the call symbol for it is SPRY, so that's spray. And really, what all you need to do is take a look at their sort of geographical rise in stock, and you can see exactly kind of when it came on market, and obviously, you know, how much it's taking off. So I know, as I said, from a medical standpoint, there's been a lot of hospitals that every year throw away otherwise perfectly good auto injectors because they're past their best use dating. And it's hard to waste thousands of dollars worth of a product. And so if you were able to get a better product that was less expensive with a longer shelf life, I know a lot of hospitals are really looking forward to this, and I would say that my dental colleagues, would be looking towards the same thing, always being able to, keep our patients safe. But if we can do that in a more economical manner, then why would you not want to take that opportunity?
That's right. It simplifies it. It's more economical. Love it. Okay. So if someone wants to learn more about this prior to the webinar, where can they find you? Where can they reach you?
Yeah, so my email address is drmarkdonaldson, so Dr. Mark Donaldson at gmail.com. Please reach out anytime. Unless I'm traveling, I do try to return all of my emails within 24 hours. And I should also let everybody know here that I don't work for Neffy, the company ARS Pharmaceuticals. I have no affiliation whatsoever. Just a licensed healthcare practitioner now for over 32 years, that has been looking forward to an alternative to some of the challenges that we've seen with auto injectors. I'll also just kind of make a plea here too. This is a great opportunity for us as healthcare workers to educate our patients as well, because it's not that dentists, pharmacists, physicians can't afford these auto injectors. It's really the general public, parents of kids that have allergies, where they have to have an auto injector in the car, an auto injector in the boat, at the house, at school. And so, these poor families are literally investing thousands of dollars every single year, into this solution. And now you have an opportunity to move away from an auto injector, which, kids are highly needle phobic as it is, to
Mhm.
something that can be administered intranasally, much more safely, longer shelf life, and no risk of needle phobia or accidental needle sticks. So I really do think that, and I'm sorry, I should have mentioned once again the price point. The a lot of third-party payers, you'll see on the Neffy website that there's actually a coupon that brings the price per unit down to $25. So I mean, where we're still talking about hundreds of dollars for an EpiPen, this really is that win-win and win I talked about.
It's really life-changing, not just inside the dental office, but for many parents, parents and kids who have to deal with these every
Absolutely, it's all
day.
about our patients, right?
It really is. Yeah. Well, Dr. Donaldson, thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who is listening, and go ahead and register for the October 8th webinar at sparkstudyclub.com, and we'll see you then.
Thanks again, Melissa.